I'm known in so many regions outside of the U.S., and that's a new artist can't ask for a better introduction. So thank you guys.
That record right there is a song that I dedicated to my haters. And I also dedicated to my fans, though. So, you know, that's what that record, you know, was for. It's just me really expressing and getting a lot off my chest, you know.
Keri Hilson, you can't even come at Ciara or Rihanna. You can't even do that. You know why you can't do that? Because Ciara and Rihanna are way bigger than you are. They are probably bigger than you will ever be.
This is the remix, but I come into the studio and he plays me this verse, and I'm like, automatically, I'm like, I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. That was my position. So I tried to fight him on it, and it was quite forceful.
In an executive artist way?
Yeah, in an executive artist way only, and kind of threatening my career.
I've been in the game 10 years, just behind the scenes. I was a writer for much of that time, and you know, I guess during that time, if you're working hard, you get well connected at some point. So I was introduced to Timbaland, and he decided to do the deal. We got our first deal offer 2 days after I met him, and it just, you know, snowballed from there.
Actually getting the record deal with Interscope.
Yes. But I know once I got my record deal, once I finally did it, I was shelved for 4 years.
Shit.
I do know that.
Shit.
There was a time when Keri Hilson wasn't just another name on the radio. She was the name everyone was talking about. Her songs owned the charts. Her face dominated every magazine cover, and her confidence made her stand out in an industry filled with imitators. For a brief, glittering moment, Keri Hilson looked unstoppable. A singer-songwriter who had written hits for others and was now ready to take her own place at the top. But then, just as quickly as she rose, she vanished. One day she was the future of R&B, the next she was gone. No more albums, no more interviews, just silence. What happened to Keri Hilson, the golden girl of 2009, who went from writing chart toppers to becoming a cautionary tale in the music industry? In the mid to late 2000s, R&B was at a crossroads. Artists like Beyoncé, Rihanna, and Alicia Keys were redefining what it meant to be a modern pop star, powerful, glamorous, and untouchable. Labels were searching for the next artist who could carry that same energy, but with something new. Enter Keri Hilson, a songwriter from Atlanta with an angelic voice, a sharp pen, and the kind of quiet confidence that made people pay attention. She wasn't just talented, she was seasoned. She had spent years behind the scenes, crafting hits for artists who were already household names. When she finally stepped into the spotlight, the world expected nothing less than brilliance. But in the entertainment industry, brilliance alone doesn't protect you. Behind every rise is a shadow of jealousy, politics, and mistakes amplified by fame. For Keri, the same industry that built her up would soon turn its back, and her silence would become louder than any song she'd ever written.
I think a big part of why I stepped away from releasing music and being active was I got tired of masking my authentic feelings. I got tired of masking and defending who I truly am because people were judging the mask. I would try my best at diffusing certain things, and they didn't like the mask. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I gotta show them me. They don't know me. They're judging this. They're crucifying this.
Before Keri Hilson became a name, she was a pen, a sharp, melodic one. Growing up in Decatur, Georgia, music wasn't just a hobby, it was her heartbeat. She joined a girl group in her teens, but it wasn't fame she was chasing, it was artistry. Her understanding of melody and emotion led her to a different kind of spotlight. Songwriting. By her early 20s, she became part of The Clutch, a powerhouse songwriting collective that shaped the sound of early 2000s R&B. Together, they penned hits for Kiara, Like a Boy, Chris Brown, Take You Down, and Mary J. Blige, Take Me As I Am. Keri's name quietly appeared in liner notes, her voice in demo versions sung by others. She wasn't in front of the camera yet, but her fingerprints were all over the charts. Then came the call that would change everything: Timbaland.
I've been in the game 10 years, just behind the scenes. I was a writer for much of that time, and I guess during that time, if you're working hard, you get well connected at some point. So I was introduced to Timbaland, and he decided to do the deal. We got our first deal offer 2 days after I met him, and it just snowballed from there. So I couldn't be more happy that after 10 years, it's finally coming to fruition.
The legendary producer saw something in her, not just a writer, but a performer with her own sound. He signed her to his Mosley Music Group, and together they started crafting what would become her breakthrough. When she appeared on Timbaland's The Way I Are in 2007, her silky vocals and effortless charisma caught everyone's attention. It was subtle but powerful, a sign that Keri Hilson was stepping out of the background and into her own story. It's the year 2019, a year when pop and R&B collided on the radio, and Keri Hilson delivered an album that captured both worlds. In a Perfect World wasn't just her debut, it was her arrival. Songs like Energy, Turnin' Me On, and the global hit Knock You Down, featuring Kanye West and Ne-Yo, cemented her as one of the era's defining voices. She wasn't afraid to blend vulnerability with confidence. She could sing about heartbreak one minute and self-empowerment the next. The album's title felt prophetic. Keri seemed to be living in a perfect world. The public loved her. Critics admired her. She was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards, and her name was being mentioned alongside Beyoncé and Rihanna as one of the new faces of R&B. But the success came with whispers about how fast she'd risen and about her willingness to speak her mind in an industry that often punished outspoken women.
Being in this industry is there's so many factors against you. There's so many hurdles, especially like on any given day, on any given performance. You could have just flown in off 0 hours of sleep, been up for 24 hours shooting a video, and have to perform for 20,000 people or more. If it's television, it's millions. You could be sick. You could have just gotten sick on the plane or caught someone else's cold, or there's so many things up against you. Your sound, your pack, your sound could go out, and there's so many things,
When Turnin' Me On dropped, fans noticed some sharp lyrics. Some said it was confidence, others said it was shade, and that's where the storm began. It began as gossip, then turned into one of the biggest pop culture feuds of its time. A remix of Turnin' Me On leaked online where Keri seemed to take direct shots at Beyoncé and Kiara. The alleged line aimed at Beyoncé, "You need to go have some babies, you can't sing," spread like wildfire. Blogs exploded. Radio shows dissected it. The internet crowned her the villain. Keri tried to explain that the lyrics weren't about anyone specific, but no one wanted to hear it. The BeyHive, Beyoncé's fiercely loyal fan base, came for her relentlessly.
Keri Hilson, you can't even come at Sierra or Rihanna. You can't even do that. You know why you can't do that? Because Sierra and Rihanna are way bigger than you are. They are probably bigger than you will ever be.
Online, her mentions filled with hate. Industry insiders began distancing themselves. In interviews, she looked cautious, her usual confidence dimmed by constant scrutiny. In a business where image is everything, being painted as anti-Beyoncé was a death sentence. Beyoncé was more than a celebrity. She was an empire. No one dared to stand against her, and suddenly, Keri was branded as someone who did. Behind the scenes, people say calls stopped being returned. Opportunities that had been promised started disappearing. Radio support declined. The industry's invisible politics, loyalty, image control, and quiet retaliation began closing in. Keri Hilson, once the Golden Girl, was now an outsider. By the time her second album, No Boys Allowed, arrived in 2010, the tide had turned. Though it included fan favorites like Pretty Girl Rock and Breaking Point, the energy around Keri had changed. The media focused more on her alleged feuds than her music. She tried to keep going, performing, smiling, giving interviews, but the warmth was gone. The same magazines that once praised her now questioned her future. Online, every tweet she posted was met with mockery or hate. In the years that followed, Keri's name slowly faded from the headlines. Fans asked for new music, but there was nothing. Then came the silence, a long one. She later revealed that during that time, she was struggling deeply. The backlash had pushed her into depression. The excitement that once defined her career was replaced by fear and self-doubt. In a 2016 interview, she said, "I felt like I was being attacked for things I never did. I lost myself. I didn't know if I even wanted to do music anymore." The honesty in her words revealed what many suspected. Keri Hilson didn't just lose her career. She lost her sense of safety in an industry she helped build. And so she stepped away, not in defeat, but in survival. For years, fans wondered where she went. Then, in the late 2010s, she slowly reappeared. Her smile was familiar, but her energy was different, softer, wiser. Keri began speaking openly about her hiatus, admitting that she had taken time off for her mental health and to rediscover her passion. She said that the pressure to deliver, the fear of rejection, and the constant backlash had paralyzed her creativity. But during that time away, she found peace in stillness. She read, she traveled, she healed. She started teasing new music, snippets on Instagram, cryptic tweets, studio photos. Interviews hinted that her third album was finally coming. Fans rallied around her, ready for her return. But as the years passed, the comeback never quite materialized. The industry had moved on. A new generation of R&B artists, SZA, Summer Walker, had taken the spotlight. The sound had shifted, yet whenever Keri's name resurfaced, there was a collective sigh of nostalgia. People wanted to see her win again. They remembered her not just for her music, but for her quiet strength in the face of public judgment. Her story became one of unfinished brilliance, a reminder that not every artist gets the redemption arc they deserve, but some find something even better. Inner peace. Even without the massive fame she seemed destined for, Keri Hilson's impact runs deep. She changed the game for female songwriters who wanted to step into the light. Before her, few writers transitioned successfully into stardom. The industry kept them behind the scenes. Keri broke that rule. Her pen helped define a sound, from Britney Spears' Gimme More to Kara's Like a Boy. She wasn't just writing songs, she was writing cultural moments. Her lyrics gave women attitude, vulnerability, and power all at once. And perhaps most importantly, her story opened a conversation about how quickly the industry can silence women who speak up or make mistakes. Keri Hilson became both a cautionary tale and a symbol of resilience. She didn't burn out, she chose to step back, to heal, and to live life on her own terms. Now, when she appears in interviews, she exudes calm, the kind of peace that comes from surviving the storm. She still talks about returning to music, but without urgency, because maybe for her, the comeback isn't about charts or awards, it's about freedom. So what actually happened to Keri Hilson? Was it an unspoken industry ban, a public misstep blown out of proportion, or simply a woman choosing herself over a system that tried to break her? The truth is somewhere in between. Her story isn't just about a fall from fame. It's about what happens when talent meets power, and power demands silence. Today, Keri Hilson, the woman behind the silence, lives life on her own terms. She acts occasionally, advocates for mental health awareness, and still creates music quietly behind the scenes. While the spotlight may have dimmed, her influence continues to glow in the background, in the melodies of new R&B artists, in the confidence of women unafraid to speak their truth. truth. Her journey is one of transformation, not tragedy, because what's more powerful than surviving the machine, redefining yourself after it chews you up and spits you out? Keri Hilson may not be on every radio station anymore, but she doesn't need to be. Her voice, both literal and symbolic, still echoes in the culture she helped shape. And maybe that's the real answer to the question: what the hell happened to Keri Hilson? Nothing tragic, nothing dramatic, just a woman who learned the hardest lesson of all, that sometimes the greatest comeback is peace.